Well, hello. I have a new kitchen. It's the reason you have not seen videos out lately is because I have moved. So I'm going to make something tonight with the pressure cooker. And something I've made a version of before, but this one's just a little different. So we're going to do the first step is I got 2 chicken breasts and they're still partially frozen, which is completely okay. I have to learn my way around my own kitchen. Still getting used to everything. So we have our 2-cup measure. We're going to get a couple of cups of water. Go ahead and put them in our pressure cooker itself. I'm going to go ahead and hit chicken. I'm going to add 1 cap of the small bottle of the chicken bouillon. I just put the cap. It has salt in it. It has all the flavoring, makes the chicken bouillon. And we're going to get a little bit of poultry season. And we are going to take and put 1 teaspoon of poultry season in this water. So no salt, plenty of that in that other seasoning. And then we're just going to take these chicken breasts, put them right into the pressure cooker. They're partially frozen, so I'm just going to pull them apart. I'm going to put them down in the water. Now, we've talked about the pressure cooker many times, how temperamental it can be. So we're going to talk today again about the lid, about the pieces of the lid. Okay, I just used this earlier so you can see the condensation that builds up in there. If you leave that, you will not get a seal. So you have to be sure, if you use it for different stages, which we are going to do in this particular video, that you, between each time you use it, you dry it, and you dry all 3 pieces. So you're going to take this out. I'm going to dry this. I'm going to dry this. Now this we're not, this is a finicky. Make sure you don't pull on it so you don't stretch it, because by all means, if this gasket gets too big, you'll never get a pressure to come to pressure on your thing. Remember, the little nipple goes on the outside, so you're holding that and you're pressing it in. Get your click, and it's there. So just going to make sure we're set here, and we're going to go ahead and put our lid on. Oops, wrong way. And we're going to go ahead and seal it. Now, I can tell by pushing on it that I don't have a good seal. I have come up with many creative ways of handling that situation, because when this happens, it's not gonna seal. Let me check that in real quick. Nothing in the pressure valve. Replace this again. Check all the way around. Make sure it's got even coverage. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to keep my hand here for some pressure for a few minutes and see if we can get the pressure up. Now, if you don't hear the steam release from this little area here in the corner, you're not getting pressure. This is the second pressure cooker XL I've had. I thought the first one was broken. They're just really temperamental. The seal is just really finicky. Of course, the fancy commercial will tell you that if it's pressurized, the lid won't open, it'll lock. Well, the other day I was searing some meat. The lid wasn't even on. It said pressure. There wasn't even a lid on it. So just, you know, be careful with it. I've had times where it said pressure, cooked through the whole process, went to let the steam out, no steam. So I've had some mixed issues with this. Now, sometimes, I'm going to give you a little hint how if I get real frustrated with it, I'll take a metal colander. I'll set it over the top, and I'll put something heavy right here, which then holds it down, but also allows it to vent so it can pressure up. So we're just going to give it a chance, see how it happens, but just a few ideas, that or an upside down cast iron skillet. So I've come up with a couple of different, you know, workarounds, to make sure it pressurizes, but it has to pressurize or it is not going to cook as rapidly as we need it to. So I've argued with customer service enough. I'm already more than aware that this is just one of the things. And you read the reviews, you see it's not an uncommon comment. So a lot of people have that same situation with this piece of equipment. However, with that being said, still well worth it. And by the way, the Rileys, go Cowboys. I know you're watching. You know you really want to be a Cowboys fan. We're sporting my Vegas. It's almost my wedding anniversary coming up. 2 weeks and it'll be a whole year. So I'm just going to sit here and do this. I'll come back to you and let you know if it pressures up. Alright, well, good news. I'm pressurized. It was 15 minutes, by the way, and I did that because it was frozen. Had it been thawed, I'd do 10. When we get this chicken done, we're going to shred it. In the meantime, we're going to start making our enchilada sauce. For those that I don't know, did I mention what we were making? We're making chicken enchilada casserole. And we're going to make it in the pressure cooker XL. But the sauce I make myself. So I don't use a sauce out of a can or wolf chili or, you know, a lot of other variations. Not that they don't taste great. They work for a lot of people. But I learned how to make brown. I don't like red enchilada sauce. So having that objection, you have to, they don't sell brown enchilada sauce at the grocery store. So I had to seek out a recipe for brown enchilada sauce. I have then, over time, made varied changes to the original recipe that I obtained. Everybody seems to like it. It never works. So I'm going to try to move you down here to the level of, let's see, maybe I might go all the way down. All right, so we're sitting on the counter now. So what I have in here is a mixture of all the spices that I have already measured and all the spoons. In here I have, and for this recipe I double, if I was making enchiladas in a pan that I was going to put in the oven, I would make a single version of this recipe, which I'm going to give you, and this will also be in the notes on the bottom of the video. But when I make the chicken enchilada, with the beef ones, I don't double it. I make the regular. But with the chicken, I double the recipe so that I can double the sauce enough to cook the chicken in the enchilada sauce. And doing that, it absorbs into the chicken and it makes it a lot better. So when the chicken's done cooking, we're going to shred it. So I'm going to tell you right now what I have in here that I'm whisking. Now I'm going to give you what's in here, but know that half of that is what's a regular sized portion. So we have 2 teaspoons of pepper, 2 teaspoons of salt. We have 4 teaspoons of cumin, or depends on who you are. I buy ground comino. It's the same thing, and it costs half as much. We have 2 teaspoons of paprika. We have 2 teaspoons of oregano. We have 4 tablespoons of chili powder. in here, of course, like I said, black pepper, salt, and then for just a little kick of spice, we have 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, which would be a half teaspoon in the normal recipe. So because that's all doubled, that's what's in here. So I like to sift it all together, and I'm going to set it to the side. That way, once you start your roux, you don't want to be trying to measure stuff and letting your flour and your oil, which we'll come to that next. So, since we're doubling our recipe, we're going to double our roux. My normal roux is 1/4 cup of oil and 1/4 cup of flour. So I'm going to double it. I'm going to do a half and half. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and measure those items out. I have not pre-done that, so you're going to have to be here along with me. So where we're going to cook that is here on my new gas range. This is like the best ever because I love cooking on gas. Way better than electric. So it was the one big seller for me on the house that we've moved to. So I'm like super excited about that. Okay, so let me grab those 2 things out of the pantry. We're just going to use some regular vegetable oil and some regular all-purpose flour. And I'm going to go ahead and measure the oil in the measuring cup because if I do that in the other one first, then we'll have problems with the flour sticking to the measuring cup. So we got that. Let's get our little flour. Yeah, I'm making a mess over here. I guess my last use of this, I didn't close it up very well. Okay. So we have a half and half. And a mess. It's off camera. Doesn't matter. Whatever works. Let me grab a towel. Okay. So, we're going to go ahead and turn on our burner. We're going to turn it down to about a medium heat. We're going to let our oil start heating up first. And I'll tip this over for you here in a minute once this starts getting warmed up. So we're going to let this oil start to get a little warm. And we're going to have quick ready our stir fries because we don't want to lump it up. So while this is prepping, I'm going to go ahead and take a measuring cup. Hot water. We're doubling our recipe, so we're going to need 4 cups of water. So we have our recipe here, 4 cups of water. And if you read this, it says to use, what directions really say? Use a tablespoon for each cup. So I just usually just kind of eyeball it, but you know, since we're teaching, let's teach right. So we got 4 cups of water. We're gonna need 4 tablespoons of the beef bouillon. Now this is the one with the brown lid. What I used in there was the one with the green lid, which is the chicken stock. So looks like I need to put this on my grocery list. So we're having this all prepared. I feel my grease getting nice and warm. Grab another whisk here. And we're gonna whisk this. Get our beef stock all ready to go. Alright, and the reason I have this ready is because sometimes it likes to cook a little too fast, and I can just take a dip of this and pour it in and kind of stop the cooking process kind of at any time I want to. So, have our hot grease, and in goes our flour. So we're just going to spread that around. Yeah, we dirty a lot of dishes in here. So we're going to mix this into the oil. Now you want to cook the flour until it's brown, so that you're cooking out the taste of flour, because basically we're just using it to thicken. And so not have enchilada water. We don't want flavored water, we want gravy. So we're making our roux here, and we're going to let this cook and brown and get happy. If it seems a little lumpy, you can always use your whisk. So you can always whisk it. If you feel like it's too lumpy or feel like it's cooking a little too fast, just turn your gas down. But you're gonna get a bubbly. That's so you know. So you want it to turn kind of like a golden. We're gonna go ahead and turn it down just a little bit more. So we don't want to burn it. We just want to make it. We just want to get all that flour taste out. So now you can see color is kind of like a nice off-white, almost the color of buttermilk, maybe a little more yellow. Well, our chicken's done, but we'll handle that here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and let the steam out. Hear that? It's pressurized. Alright, so bring it over to while we have this here, we're going to go ahead and add our season bowl. All of our mixed and seasoned. I'm going to add it right here to the roux. We're going ahead and start stirring that in. Now it is going to paste up. See? It's going to paste up because it doesn't have a lot of liquid. Don't pan it. See? Looks kind of like hamburger meat at this point. So you're just going to kind of letting that cook into the flour a little bit. And then just dip in a cup or a half a cup or however much. Put in a portion of our stock. And then kind of it just starts to loosen it up a little. So then now you start developing a little less of a paste and more of and it will start to dry out again. Add another one. And we just continue this process until we've got all the water in there. Now I don't pour it all in at once because I don't think it doesn't help the spices bind as well when you just pour all the water in there and just let it all become soupy. So I like to stir the water, let it absorb, and when it starts getting thick, I'll add some more stock. So here we go. It's a really quick meal to make because while your chicken's cooking, you're making your spice mix. Alright, I think we're soupy enough now to start pouring it in pretty fast. We just got about another cup left. Go ahead and take the lid off this so we can start letting that chicken cool, because it is going to be hot. Okay, let me clear some of this mess off our cutting board here. I'm going to grab some tongs. And those chicken breasts are going to go right here on the cutting board. We'll go back to our enchilada sauce. Just a little bit. We're getting a lot of fluid in here, so it's getting. You want to make sure you have a pretty deep skillet. I use a really large cast iron, or I'll use this kind of halfway pot. If you don't have one of those, you can use a bigger pot. Just you're not going to use it all the space, but just make sure you have a lid. Okay, so we're going to use the rest of this stock, and that can go over to the sink. We're going to let this get all happy. It is pretty soupy right now, but it needs to come to a boil, and then it will start to thicken. So we're gonna let this start to boil. So in our meantime, while that's working its magic, we'll work ours over here. Moving some stuff out of the way. Alright. So we need 2 forks. Now remember, this was frozen chicken, 15 minutes in the pressure cooker, and it now just comes right straight apart. If you have some of the chicken that looks still a little pink, don't be alarmed, because we're still going to cook it. So it just comes right apart. So I'm literally able to shred this 2 whole breasts up in just a matter of a couple of minutes. So, I mean, just basically I'm pressing on it. That's how easy the pressure cooking makes the chicken come apart versus boiling. You have to boil it a lot longer than 15 minutes to get a chicken breast to fall apart this easy. So we're getting here. So, let me get this all tore up here. We want to try to make sure we don't have a lot of big chunks. I mean, a few is not a big deal, because we're going to cook it some more here in just a second. Hi, Sydney. Want to be on video?
Not right now.
Why not? Go put a hat on. Detour. About face. Okay. Got this big pile of chicken here. And we got our enchilada sauce. It's got a nice rolled, or nice bubbly boil going on here. How much smell that? Just facing it.
It smells good.
Why are you flexing your muscles in the video? We're going to take our handy scooper, and we're going to put this chicken right in the sauce. Now, I have reserved this water that we actually cooked this chicken in, because occasionally the chicken will soak up a little more of the enchilada sauce than we want it to. And if that happens, we have the chicken stock, the real chicken stock that we just cooked. So I'm not going to throw that out until I'm sure that we don't need any of it. So we're going to stir all that in. You get a view there. All that chicken's in the enchilada sauce. And then we're going to put the lid back on. We're going to turn it down to medium-low. And we're just going to let that simmer for a while. And I'm going to reserve some chicken stock, clean up everything, and then be ready to assemble our enchilada casserole. So, and it's super fast. So, I mean, total prep time, all that, you know, of course when you video it takes a little longer, but, so, I mean, from you cook this at the same time, throw it in there, let this cook for about 10 minutes while you clean the pot, then you're ready to throw it together. So, I'll be right back. Alright, here we go. So, we now have our chicken all nice and simmered. We're going to go ahead and move that over here to our cutting board. Keep it close. We have a bag of corn tortillas. We have a bag of cheese, which during the break time, I was able to wash. I washed up all the dishes that I used, all the measuring spoons and cups and all the utensils, and everything's clean besides the pan that the chicken's in. It's staring at me. Makes me nervous. He knows it. That's why he does it. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this bowl full of cheese so I'm not fighting with this plastic the whole time.
Now,
Huh? Cut. Take two. I spilled some cheese. It's just like right here on the counter, so not like it was on the floor. No 2-second rule here or anything. So, okay, so first thing we do with pressure cooker, and we're going to start making our enchilada casserole, is we're going to spray the bottom with non-stick spray. I know it's supposed to be non-stick. Don't believe the hype. I spray it on the sides, I spray it on the bottom. Okay? Add just a little bit of the reserved chicken stock that I took out from the bottom. Just a tiny bit of that. Because what you need is a really good thick layer to buffer the bottom layer of your casserole, because this in searing mode will. So right now we have it completely off. We don't have it on searing mode. We don't have it on. We don't have it on heat. We don't have it on warm. We have it on. We just have it just plugged in. I'm not gonna make a really big batch because it's it's the weekend, so it doesn't have to take lunch to work tomorrow. You know, I don't have a big crowd, which I did treat to a sample of this last weekend. I whipped it up. So we're going to take our tortillas. Let me see if I can back you up so you can see. Okay, we're going to take our tortillas and we're going to cut them into strips. So you want about 4 sections. So you have your tortillas and they're cut like this. And then into strips. Okay? We need some more, we'll cut some more. It's just depending on how it goes. Alright, so there's our chicken. It smells delicious. Okay, so find us a spoon. Just a good stir. Now I want to move this really close to the pressure cooker because of course this is the messy part. Is getting this chicken enchilada mixture into the pressure cooker. So we're gonna work a little magic here, but as you can see, let's put our knife right here. So I'm gonna slide this over, get these two as close together as possible. So I'm gonna take a scoop of our shredded chicken and enchilada sauce. And you know what, maybe I'm going to use a ladle. That might make it go a bit faster. So I'm going to get a good ladle full. And I'm going to put it in the bottom. So you're going to make sure the bottom of this has a layer of chicken and enchilada sauce. Kind of, you know, you don't see the bottom of the pan. Alright, so we got that in there. I like to use the corner pieces, the ones that are rounded. And I go around the outside of the pressure cooker to form the circle with these rounded pieces, which for me works great. Then I take the straight ones and I just make a bridge across the middle. If you have a spot that doesn't reach all the way across, you just put one sideways. So just any kind of method. I'll pull you over here. Try my best not to just stop the video and let you see like inside there. Nothing has to be perfect. Just you're just getting it all into the pot. And so next we're going to go with another layer of the chicken. So you pour that right on top of those tortillas. And don't warm them up, or you don't have to heat them, and don't put them in oil. So this saves, like from when you make regular chicken enchiladas, we'd normally soften them with grease. Adds a lot of calories and bad things. Let me work my way around the edge of this pan here. Get some of our goodies here. Make sure everything's So we're gonna get a little bit extra chicken. Make sure it gets in here. Okay, so now we have our one layer of sauce, one layer of tortillas, and then another layer of sauce with chicken, and a good handful of cheese. You want to make sure you've lightly covered all of this. And now we're going to go back with our tortillas. Round ones around the outside. Just kind of follows the shape. And then we're going to take some straight ones. Take that across. I'm telling you, it seems so simple, but tastes so delicious. Get one of these short ones. Alright. And then we're going to back with our chicken enchilada sauce. And yes, I just dripped down the side of my pressure cooker. Try to keep this pretty clean because it gets a little warm. I'm not sure what happened there, but it turned you off. So, okay, I'm going to take a rubber spatula. We've put all of our layers in there. So we have our very last bit of enchilada sauce. So I'm going to scrape what's on the spoons that I use. That's good sauce there. They're wasting. Got that one into the sink. This one all done. Into the sink. And the good part. I'm going to get all this out of the pan. Grab all of that last bit. Or waste into the top of the top layer there, and then this can go into the sink. We'll use our spatula here, spread this around. So I'm going to take the rest of my bowl of cheese, which is probably about twice the amount I've been putting between each. It's about 2 handfuls. I'm just going to sprinkle that over this. A little extra cheese on the top. When you open the lid after you're done cooking, it's going to look a little liquidy. So I always reserve some cheese to throw on the top. But once you start serving it up, the liquid will go down into the pressure cooker, down towards the bottom of the layers. But I always throw a little bit extra cheese on the top. So now that we have everything in there, and I'm going to take my paper towel here and wipe around the edge because I've gotten stuff. I'm going to make sure we don't have any water in the lid of our pressure cooker. Clean that up real good. Okay, there we got that. And our lid. And our seal. Okay, so we're good here. Is that our deal? Spin a little, make sure we got it sealed. I see the sides off a little bit. Make sure it's evenly in there. So just check your sides. See, this is sticking out here. Let's make some adjustment here. Okay. I just moved it. Okay. I think we got it. Alright, so going back to pressure. Put it on there. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this on rice and risotto. I'm going to turn it up to 15 minutes. And then we're going to be sure we get our pressure. And I just turned it on, so it's going to cycle in to the searing mode and the preheat mode. You will hear in there what's cooking, which is that bottom layer of a little bit of extra stuff that we put, so that when it's in this mode and it's extra heating, it's not browning and crisping up tortillas on the bottom of the pressure cooker. So just run a little bit of hot water in here. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be doing dishes all the day. So let everything soak right there. I keep a a thing of soapy water. And so I'm ready to keep all of my stuff clean and go right back to its home and don't have a big mess to clean up. So we're see, you hear that air? Means it's gonna have some trouble sealing and it's gonna need a little help. So just don't keep your hand over this little hole, the little hole here. It will burn you. So I'm not gonna make you watch me wait till it pressures up, but I'll certainly pop back on and let you know how long it takes for it to do that. As you can see, it's steaming, but I'm holding it. When the steam starts coming out, that's when it's starting to pressure. So I've been here for about close to 15 minutes. So sometimes it takes a little while to pressure up. So just be patient with it. It's worth the wait. Alright, well, we have the countdown. It's still steaming, so we'll see. So we're working on it. Well, hello. Yes, we've had some issues. I found out they cracked my pressure cooker right here when we were moving. So we're gonna have to figure that out. So let's see. Depressurize. So we had cooked this for 15 minutes. Once it got to pressure. Now, I know sometimes you have to be patient, but don't let them manhandle your machine. And then put it back in the packing box to move it. I don't know. That's how things happen. Hear that, Sid? Sid's gonna be our taster. You better get his hat. You better get your hat. Alright. Yes, I used my trick to get it to pressurize. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. So, yes, the fine china. You know why? Because see that? All the dishes we dirty. I have done enough dishes tonight to last myself a lifetime. I'm done. Not dirty any more dishes. Okay, well, I'll have to dirty something to get some food out of here. This. I'm going to cut it with this and spoon it out with something else. Well, let's find something we can use. Just one thing. Multi-purpose tool. We're going to go with this. Good for spanking kids when they're bad. Good for spanking husbands when they act fool. It's a great tool. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so see how that conversation. As I told you, when you first open it, you're going to see a considerable amount of liquid has come to the top. Now, I personally drain some of it off. You can simply soak it up with cheese, or just let it get mixed in with everything else. It's not grease, it's just where everything's liquefied. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit more cheese, which I had already put up in the refrigerator, because we keep our tidy kitchens. Nobody wants to eat your food when they see, especially if they see you're cooking in a dirty kitchen. So I'm going to use this to soak up some of the moisture in the pot. And it also just makes it, you know, a little extra cheese. Never hurt anybody. Well, your doctor might say different, but he does. What does he know? They try to say everything's unhealthy now. Not supposed to eat eggs. They give you cancer. You're not supposed to, I mean, you know, it's like, what can you eat anymore? Nothing. Alright, so we're going to cut all the way straight down to the bottom. And I'm going to make myself a little triangle here. So I'm getting a little bit of everything. And it never looks exactly pretty when you pull out the first piece, but it is something resembling a lasagna. Just one moment. Where did it go? Where did it go? Yeah, we ended up dirtying two things. Okay, so. But after you get the first scoop out, it's easier to dish. I'm going to leave mine on warm, put my lid back on, and let it stay here on warm until everybody's ready to cook. Cook to eat. Just wanted to get a sample out for you of what it looks like, which doesn't look exactly beautiful because, of course, you know, we cooked in a pressure cooker. We didn't make it in a nice, pretty pan. You could let it cool and then pull it out and it might look prettier, but I don't think pretty is the purpose here. I think tasty is the purpose here. So let this cool just a little bit before I make Mr. Damien come in here and take a test. Sauce is awesome. See you in a minute. Oh. I'm cooling it off. Ready? Still hot? Still good?
Yes, really good.
He's married, he has to say that.
Great job. Great job, pressure cooker.
The pressure cooker did a good job?
Okay. You had some part in it.
Somebody call Judge Judy right now. Anyways, it is delicious. It's really hot, but chicken super tender. That brown enchilada gravy. If any of you frequented La Casona before the incident, well, at least the one in one of the residents that lived at my apartment community shared the brown gravy recipe. Now, her version of it, mind you, might not have been exactly, because I'm sure they made that in huge vats, but it's her version of it. But however, I will cherish it forever, and I will share with many, because I've had a lot of people who came over here who are of a Hispanic culture and been raised in Hispanic houses and had never had homemade enchilada sauce. So I know it's not anything derogatory towards anybody. I mean, people are busy. I know that most of the families that I've been encountered in my past, it was a can of enchilada sauce from the store and a can of wolf chili. Delicious. It was absolutely delicious, and it was great until I made this. No, can't settle. So anyway, here you go. Make it for your family. Make it for your friends. Make yourself a hero. I'll see you next time. Next video. New house, gas stove. Great things are gonna happen. Great things.